Hi again, and welcome everyone to another installment of Draw With Me. And in today's exercise we're going to be going over simple 3D shapes. And as I've learnt, it's very important to have quite a fine tip of your pencil when doing this shading. So you can try it without, but it might make it a bit more difficult to get these more defined lines. It didn't go exactly very well with this, but yeah, let's try it and we'll see how we go. So we're going to start with a simple cube, and this is probably how everyone draws cubes ordinarily. And we're going to start by drawing a simple square, which should be extremely easy if you followed my previous exercise with drawing consistent straight lines. Now the important part with drawing squares is that all the angles on the square are parallel to each other, and that also applies for doing this third dimensional kind of depth of field view. So if we add 3 more parallel lines all at the same angle and at the same distance, and then we can connect these up lines which should be parallel to 2 other lines you've previously drawn. So these 2 are this one, and these 2 are this new line. Now I'm going to be drawing the light coming from over here . But if you then shade these 2 sections here with the same kind of line direction, granted these aren't too consistent, but it shouldn't matter too much. And then do the same for this one. And now we're going to attempt a crosshatch on this side, which should be darker because it's covered by more of the remaining cube. To give more of a 3D impression. And then we want to do 2 more parallel lines coming from this direction of the light. So we can kind of shape, and again do a single direction of line to mask a shade and shadow, and just kind of fill it darker near the base of the cube, and then just fade out. And feel free to get outside the lines a little bit. And yeah, just play around with it. I'm not perfect, I'm learning with you guys, but that's as good as I've come to so far. So if you want to do the same principles but with the cube from a different angle, you can create a shape here with parallel lines, and then connect that with equal lengths, and then create this third dimension to it with equal parallel lines as well, 3 of them. And then, as before, these 2 lines should be parallel to this third line here, as well as these 2, this new line. add a shadow to this one as well, using the same principle. And as with everything, practice will just make it more consistent and easier. As I'm happier with this one than I was with this one. And then just add the second line of shadowing. That wasn't actually too much darker, so I'm going to add a third one. And then again, and hopefully this will give an impression of 3D shape. I feel like this could go easier with mechanical pencils. And if it is, let me know, maybe I can try this again. But I don't think it's too bad. Maybe that shadow is a bit too defined, but onto the fun part, and I'd say slightly more impressive part, and that's the spear. And just start by drawing a circle, and as you probably know by now, circles are not my strong point. I tend to have to sketch them out a bit. But I will improve. But that's not too bad of a circle, I don't think. Maybe it is. I don't know. But for this one, because the light is coming in this direction, and spheres, the shadow is not as standard as a flat shape like this. We're just going to maybe guide that the light is going to be shining mostly on this part, which means the darker part, like this one here, will just be on this eclipse. So I tend to do a little guide here, a little crescent, half moon, and just do your initial shading to follow along that. Just fill it out slightly. Add another layer of shading. And just add a few more layers. Really getting this edge dark helps with the depth a bit. And at this point it's just chaotic shading, I'm not doing cross hatching, probably should be, but it's a force of habit, I think. Just do some light shading here. Get that gradient of shadow. In fact, I'm just going to use an eraser a little bit just to get a bit softer. And really should almost blend quite seamlessly as the strength of the shadow changes. Well, that didn't go as planned, but hopefully that gives the impression of a sphere, and we're just going to cast that shadow here, and this will come more into the next lesson, but we're going to do the shape called an eclipse, which is kind of a stretched circle. And that'll be useful in a lot of things, such as drawing bottles or tubes, or when you get a bit more advanced, arms, and it's just a very good geometric shape that you need, which I find a bit difficult because the edges can't be too pointy, they need to be quite rounded, and I'm going to attempt to do this now. That kind of shape. A bit chunkier. In this case, and again, do dark to light. And really make this start bit here a bit darker. That's not too bad, I think. I don't know, you tell me. Very, very beginner, very, very simple 3D shapes. I'm going to keep practicing with these. I hope you do as well. But let me know what you think. Could they be better? Could they be worse? It's a new journey for me still, and I know there's not a lot of people watching, but any feedback is helpful, and let me know how I did. Maybe I'll revisit this in the future and do a better job of shading and actually teach you more important things, but these are the things I understand at the moment. That's going to change, as well as everything will when people learn, but I think it's a bit of an advancement from where we were last episode, where we're actually building to larger things. And in a few more episodes we'll be putting these principles to larger shapes, where you can just draw objects from around your house. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you learned something. If you're not drawing along, try to just give it a go at this exercise. Yeah, happy drawing. Thank you.